be able to verify this in a second. As soon as the stream preview kicks in. Beautiful. I see myself. Love it. So, hi everybody. We're gonna be making some magic designs. This is for Ominous Designs. I'm starting this little channel over here. The channel is gonna be called Responsible Gaming. What I want to do is try and provide some quality gaming content for everybody who's interested. Something a little chill. Tonight, though, we're gonna be making the episodes 112 of Ominous Designs. Used to be Bullseye. If you go right now on www.bullseye.com, you're gonna be seeing this wonderful blog that I've been making for the past a little over 2 years. And recently what I've been doing is about 2 designs a week and an article describing a little bit my design process. So I hope you like what's going to happen right now. We're going to do article number 112 live. I already picked a subject. I want to design a mechanic that I have called Fallow, because apparently Fallow, if you're not familiar with it, I'm about to look it up right now, is described as fallow of farmland is plowed or harrowed but left unsown for a period in order to restore its fertility as part of the crop rotation to avoid surplus production. Okay, so the idea with fallow is that we're going to be making cards for which you can discard the land for extra effect. Now, just before I started, I discovered the issue that depending on if we want to put fallow on a spell or a creature, obviously it's not going to be worded the same. If we want to put fallow on a spell, it's going to have to be on cast. I don't see any clean way we would not be doing it on cast, and it's just much more natural. If let me put this little text banner over here. Well, there you go. At least now you can a little reminder we're creating this mechanic. Yeah, so for spells we need to have the discard as additional cost. For creatures we could do something like when enters the battlefield you can discard. If I make fallow, say, let's see, we're gonna look at the wording in practice, otherwise it's gonna get confusing. So let's get started. Over here, what do I start with? Let's start with Magic Set Editor. Boom. Hello. Okay. So let's reuse this stuff. For this mechanic fallow, what this is the all the cards that I've made this year so far. Oh boy, streaming takes a lot of CPU. One of the only things that I came up with so far. Now I wanna show you the 2-2. I have thought of 2 designs so far. One is, what if we make a 2-2 with fallow? And the idea would be that, which is pretty nifty here because I have a mechanic that looks pretty much the same. So something like fallow. How are we gonna word that? So I'm thinking, I can use the keyword editor. I'm thinking when I want to find a wording that would work no matter if it's on a creature or spell. So I was gonna say whenever you cast this spell, then I guess when you cast this spell, or at a so tricks behind the scene. What I do a lot is watch LSV, but that's not the point. Uh, Gather. Just go straight up to a card to figure out the templating, right? So, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is going to be pretty simple, but I'm going to get a whole bunch of cards as an additional cost. And could I get one that's a mechanic? I don't know if I know a mechanic that says additional cost all the time. How's kicker worded? So that's going to help us see if we want to do this way. Kicker 3, you may pay an and you cast the spell. Yeah, that works. So what I'm going to do is so should I word it the exact same way though? So if I do, where's my kicker? Should I say you can discard a land as an additional cost to cast the spell? Okay, so one thing that's striking me right now is you could actually make a kicker. Kicker, discard a land. Well, so what I'm thinking now is Magic has quite a few mechanics that are derivative one of another. Kicker is pretty. Kicker is additional cost, right? So if you wanted to stretch it like there's no tomorrow, you could go kicker, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. If you paid the kicker, the creature cannot block, and you have unleash, right? So I don't think the fact that you can make a kicker is really playing against the design all that much. We can just make a new mechanic that says this is an additional cost. Trying to see if I agree with myself. I think that's fine. Especially, yeah, there's no especially. So if I do Fallow, um, you may pay an additional as you cast the spell. Well, okay, it doesn't have to be to say it's a cost. So you may discard a land card as you cast the spell. And the template is if was kicked. I don't think. I mean, I'm most definitely not gonna be saying if Fallow or. Let's think about this. And let's make a keyword since we're probably gonna use it that way. So if you don't know about keywords, welcome to keywords. They're pretty sweet. Fallow matches Fallow. Whoops. I pasted. Yes. What is it you want? That was fun. Copy, paste. All right. So Fallow. And we would have something like um, card name enters the battlefield. This is just an example, anyways, because I want to show you. I want to tell you something else that I thought of. Enters the battlefield with 2+1+1 counters. If it's debatable, you could say if you paid its fallow cost. I don't imagine fallow can be made into a word, is it? A verb, is it? And it would sound weird, anyways. Fallow. Noun, verb. To leave land fallow. Still don't think I like it. Like if you fallowed, it's just weird. It could be that. I mean, I actually really love the fallow as a keyword. I think it's one of the things that we haven't. I mean, it's a word that obviously hasn't been used before, not even in a card, or that I know. And um, and the other thing is very. Oh yeah, there is some fallow. It's fine. And the other thing is it's very significant of the way that you uh, kind of don't use the land to for greater effect for long-term other use of the land. So I think it's a very cool keyword, but follow cost was paid, whatever. We can work on the template. So if its follow cost was paid, well, I think. And I guess that could be interesting to do something like Fallow 2. I heard Fallout 2. And go for big ass monsters like this. This reminds me of the Ready Dragon, right? It's not exactly that, but this guy, when he comes into play, sacrifice it until he sacrifices 2 mountains. You could have like discard 2 mountains. Who knows? That would actually possibly be harder. But anyways, so we could have maybe Fallow 2. Who knows? So the point I wanted to make about this design is I don't know how tricky it would be for players to play. I think it might be a very dangerous design because it's gonna corner people. It's gonna let players go straight to I don't know. I have a hand with 2 lands. Maybe I draw the third land, or I have 2 or 3 lands. I'm discarding one of my land to get a 4/4 for 2, which is pretty. It sounds pretty sweet, but you're gonna get your player mana screw themselves by being greedy a little too easily. Magic always offers room for player to make mistakes, but it's also considered fairly poor design if you help them too much making the wrong decision. If you influence them or if you offer them something that they shouldn't be an offer that they shouldn't be taking, etc., etc. Or if you're just gonna wreck, you're just gonna wreck a lot of games if people are very enticed to do something that might really screw them up, right? So you don't want to create too many games of the sort. So I wonder if this kind of balanced design would be kind of falling into that caveat. And I'm gonna say it would. I'm gonna say it's very enticing to have your your 2/2 become a 4/4, and it's very easy to get screwed. You get a removal, and now you have discarded. You have 2/1 yourself because of the land. It was too early for you to pay lands. It should be a mechanic that would be mostly used in the later game. Um, So I don't think I'm going to push for that. Now, the other question is, do you actually want to not power your mechanic with uh, discarding lands if it's gonna screw people's mana curve? At the very least, I would say it's not gonna be a problem if you make cards a little more expensive, obviously. If you make a 4-drop or a 5-drop with a fallow cost, then if the player decides to discard a card and it wasn't a good tactical decision, it's just more fair. Like you didn't set up a trap that would entirely screw them. You probably set up a trap for them to just make a wrong strategic decision, but it's still gonna be a 4-drop with a fallow cost that's been paid, so a 4-drop that's gonna be boosted, which means it's just gonna be a fairly good card, even though your curve later on is not gonna be as good. So the effect, the damage won't be as bad. So yeah, I think the mechanic could be interesting at large. One thing that I've thought of is trying to make a fetch land with Fallow. That could be interesting. Um, so what I'm gonna do first is trying to remember exactly how many fetch lands have a discard land. I know that crop rotation as a sack, right? That's a sack effect. Anytime you return, sacrifice a land. Um, yeah. Um, okay, which means apart from that, I kind of don't think search your library, discard a land. That might be. I get a couple cards. Land cycling, discard card, search for land, discard any number of cards. Oh, that's interesting. But nothing, not similar at all. Still, if you're gonna fewer lands, nope. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that's not. I don't want to make something that's functionally just about the same as an existing card, right? So let's see. So Fallow. Search your library for a basic land card and put that card onto the battlefield tab. This is just the base of a fetch land. Now, a couple things. One idea that I had was possibly possibly make it so that you can either fetch any land if you pay the fallow cost, which would make this doesn't have to be 3. It can be, well, we'll see. I don't know. Thinking for fetch 1 land, it might just be 2. So either you could fetch any land, which is very rare actually. I'm not the biggest specialist of what cards actually allow you to do that, but I do believe fetch that's not basic land is fairly rare. You see, so crop rotation actually did that if I remember well. Anyways, but you get all your combos, right? You get all your fetch your anything Valakut, fetch your Thespian stage, fetch your Dark Depth. I don't know if any of those would be played in actually competitive Legacy or Vintage decks, but Corporation is pretty powerful for that at least. You can actually fetch anything, and there's a lot of lands that kind of are used in combos or are tools or etc. Kessil Gulfrun and the likes. So it could be that if you 2-for-1 yourself, you can fetch any land. That would be interesting. It could be But I'd rather keep it on the lower power level and not try and make for something that could be used in constructed because those need more development time, right? You need to actually try harder to balance them. Um, let me test one thing. I just want to see. Oh, I guess it's too late. Yeah, it's too late. I wanted to see if my chat was working. Um, so I'm assuming it's working. I can see the chat here. Uh, cool. Um, so, um, so what can we do if we actually discard a land card? I mean, it could just be that you fetch another land, and it would still be cool. It would let you fix pretty heavily. It would be fetch land to start with, and then fetch land plus fix your mana if you discard, if you have an extra land. Um, Rampant Growth is fetch any basic land for 2 instant speed, isn't it? Yes. Um, and then you get Kodama's Reach. That gets you 2 lands for 2. 4/3. And 1 in play, 1 in. Okay. So let's say I want to fetch 2 lands. Um, I just had a side thought. So what I would like to do, for example, is if you paid Finds Paradise, Fallow costs. I don't know if you're supposed to. Probably not. Uppercase the kicker if no was kicked. Well, okay. What's kicker cost? Anyways. So if you pay Fallow cost, you may search your library for another. Um, how would I say that? Either yeah, Maxstar. Making some own expansions. Actually, it's been 2 years that I've kind of put that on the side, and I've made cards that were not related to each other. But originally, I made a couple limited constructed deck that were kind of pretending they were from a set with like 23 different cards and kind of mechanics that went together, etc. I think you can see some of those in my blog. They would be over a year old now. But yeah, nowadays I mostly try and find a theme and make a couple cards every week. So this week, trying to make this mechanic Fallow where you get an extra effect for discarding a land. So yeah, so either over here, if you paid Find Paradise Fallow costs, I could do two things. Um, I could just do the whole text as an instead. So let's see, Kodama's Reach. Can't spell. Oh, okay, sure. So, 2 lands, reveal those cards, and put one on the battlefield. So, what I could do. Oh, that's funny. I didn't have the shuffle in there. So, if you, I could do this. If you have paid. That's a lot of text, isn't it? Fallow cost. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Instead, reveal those cards. Okay. So it's a lot of text. The the alternative would be that I make search your library for a basic land card and put that card on the battlefield tapped. If you have paid Paradise Fallow cost. You may search for an additional card and put it in your head. No, I guess that works. I was afraid that you would have to shuffle your library twice, and I guess that doesn't happen. So if you paid Paradise Fallow cost, search your library for you may. Let's put a you may. You may search your library for an. I think that work. I might have seen that somewhere. I would probably check if there is reference of do something an additional time and if it's worded the exact way, but we're not gonna go all into that detail right now because we don't want to spend hours. You may search your library for another. Why not if the fellow cost was paid? Yeah, so kicker, I keep returning to kicker. If see, it says if Ether Figment was kicked, I guess. Do we have other costs that I could check? Because it's not if kicker was paid, but if search for paradise, it could be if I do the exact same as kicker, it would be if find paradise fallow was paid, which is wait, no, it's not what it says. It's was kicked. Yeah, so nothing says something cost was paid. So let's see if you have a cost was paid. I just wanted to use the same, something or something very similar. If the oh that's what they used to said. Oh God, I'm so confused. So sometimes they say kicker cost was paid, and then some other time it was saying was kicked. Well, that's practical. Prowl. You may cast if Morthar's self Prowl cost was paid, draw a card. See, tends to say something cost was paid. I have at least 2 examples now. So whatever. So if find paradise fallow cost was paid, why not? We can always nitpick. It's okay. You may search your library for an additional land card and put it in your hand. Put it into your hand. When you kind of do sequence 1, sequence 2, then shuffle. I don't know if you can just do shuffle your library at the end, but whatever. Search library for an additional land card and put it into your hand. Right? If you haven't noticed, I'm not a native. I'm actually French, and sometimes some of those things, tooth and nail. Tooth? Wait. What? Oh, this is embarrassing. Wait, what? Oh, it's tooth and nail, and I said nails. My bad. Put them into your hand. Put it into your hand. Yes. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think that's a fun mechanic as is. That could be an interesting card. I think it's pretty sweet. It's like rampant growth, no instant speed, not a huge issue, at least in limited. Constructed, it would be maybe a little notch with an extra power that's pretty darn good. Now, I just got a fine ID for this. Plan for future or plan for the future. It's kind of okay. So now we're gonna go to my favorite Uh, place for arts, which is DeviantArt, the land of horses that love each other. God, some things are scary over here. Hopefully, I won't see too many not safe for work content over here. So um, let's go harvest because he doesn't have to be Fallow. We don't have to be that nitpicky. It's gonna be a bunch of fields anyways. I could type field. This is not the kind of harvest I was thinking about. Yeah, harvest might have a lot of creepy Halloweenish stuff. Oh boy, this is scary. Oh, it's kind of cool. I don't want to spend hours on the art either, especially for a first video. So yeah, it's a stretch. This is not showing any. Um, this is showing something that's kind of used, I guess, but we'll make it work. So save image, and I'm gonna put this one in here. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, it's okay. There you go, nice image, a little field, lots of green. Get our credits over here. It's by Lothar Zoo. Probably pronounce this funny. Lothar Zoo. And we got ourselves a card. Plan for the future. Yeah, sure, why not? This, and that. Okay, perfect. So, let's see now. What can we do? Several things come to mind. We could make a very big creature with a fallow cost that's like several lands. We could make removal, be it red direct damage, black destruction. With the fallow could be making just the spell better, add extra damage, exile the creature, turn a minus minus into a destroy, all sorts of things. Making your creature sounds interesting though. Try and see what I was saying before. See if 4-drop 4-drop would be better with the fallow cost. Just noticed that my Steam is on here. Um, I'm not familiar with what funny donkers means, but spot into mass. Spot into mass would be good, but honestly, I wouldn't put that on the back of discarding one land. And if you put it on the back of discarding two lands, what kind of spell can you make? I mean, the problem is you want to make a spell that for just about the same cost or a very similar cost can destroy a creature or can destroy a lot of them. That being said, in recent history in Limited, removal is costly. So if we did something like removal for 4, there was a half comment for DeviantArt. Okay. So yeah, if we do a hard removal for 4, it would be, well, if it's a hard removal for 4, it would still possibly be very good in Limited. It would be at least good. And a mass removal for 4 and discard a land might be acceptable. Do I like this idea? I mean, it seems a little funny to me, but can we make it into something acceptable? Um, I think I would hit the spot around there. I would hit like around 4 to 5 mana removal that then transform into mass removal if you discard the land. But the thing is, it's hard to understand the mechanic, the need that's behind this. Like, if we go back to the game itself, do you want a spell that do you want a mass removal spell uh, where you have to discard a land? Could be acceptable. I mean, especially if it gives you a discount. Uh, if you follow, turns from sensory to instant. No, I don't think so. This is a. Oh, you telling me that it could turn into an instant? So as it is right now, it just says you make discard a land as you cast the spell, so it doesn't change when you cast it. And if you're telling me it could be instant, then I might agree, except as it is right now, it would be way complicated on the card. Uh, um, yeah, and if you're saying it should be on fetch only one land, and if you follow, make it an instant, then I think it's a little boring. Um, so yeah. Um, oh, you were telling about the additional cost then. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. So we're gonna try and do your idea. Let's take this guy. First I'm gonna look for the art now because I kind of want to get rid of that. Darkness. It's hard. So certain types of things it's hard to look for on DeviantArt. Darkness. Darkness could give us some stuff. What would you do otherwise? Like massacre. Oh, this one is kind of cool. The flavor of discarding a land to destroy more creature, though, I could see. I could see. Okay, yeah, that's another thing that I haven't mentioned is it, the mechanic doesn't have to be accessible to all colors, right? And originally, I would possibly have made it something that's directly related to uh, really those uh, positive, good types of humans, like the farmers, the nice guys, who are actually, you know, uh, cultivating their land, etc. So it would be kind of a human theme. I don't know exactly how you make this into a dark removal slash mass removal kind of spell. But I mean, you could say you put a field on fire. You would stretch the flavor, but it would still make it so that, yeah, I mean, we understand that it's all in the theme of discarding lands. Um, so let's see. Can I do? Yeah, mass remove. No, I was gonna say. Oh yeah. Put the field. Oh, I could make it. I could make it. I could maybe try and do mass damage. Oh yeah, yeah. I kind of like this. What if it's a red card and it is direct damage, but it can also be mass direct damage if you discard a land, and we do something about setting a field on fire. So, and I can probably, yeah, there you go. Salting the earth, burning earth. Yeah. So, yeah. No, I agree. Salting is actually something that's been used extensively in Magic for destroying lands, but putting fields on fire, I like. So what would I say? I would say how do you say fires? That's gonna be hard to look for, isn't it? Might find a couple. So this DeviantArt. This one's weird. Maybe I should just look for fires. And this is arguably not the funniest part of making a card, is browsing DeviantArt for hours and hours. So I don't know, maybe in the future I will have my designs ready. Maybe in the future I'll have some pictures ready. Maybe I just will skip the picture picking. This is way too evil. This I could, let's see if I can stretch that image. So also a good trick is not using the entire image. So I'm not gonna use black anymore. Let's just change the color. So something like 2 in a red, for example. Yeah, I guess I was gonna remove the flag, but I don't really have to remove the flag, do I? It's fine. Cool. So now the fallow will be kind of a metaphor of sacrificing the land, because setting your lands on fire to kill the enemy is not proper fallow. You don't do that if you're a farmer. But I think that's fine. So this would be something like this. Whoa. Come on. To target creature, and then if so, how did we say plan for future? God damn it. Yeah, it was plan for future. If plan for future, is it plan for the future? Plan for future. Whatever. Oh, another trick. Plan for. I mean, I'm sure. Just, I'm sure you can say plan for the future, but I don't know how that sounds. How to plan for, whatever. Okay, so okay, yeah, fallow. Yeah, fallow is, well, to be honest. Well, I mean, to be honest, I knew the French word and I tried to see what it's in English. So that's what it is. Like using not using your land for a while so that it's more fertile the next year, etc. So it's more like kind of sacrificing not the land, but sacrificing the potential for the farmer to be farming something for a whole year, so that there is a better thing in the future. Either way, it's a cool word, and it's hard to find one word mechanics too. So if this guy fallow cost was spent, something like that, it deals. Wait, do direct damage spells say it anger of the god? Does it say deal damage? It just said deals damage, right? Oh no, it say the spell deals damage. I think we can say it over here. Deals 3 damage to each creature. Now for the cost. think it's gonna be a rare because mass damage is really definitely rare nowadays. Um, and uh, and so what kind of mass damage have we had recently? We've had 1 and 2 red, straight up 3 damage for sorcery. This is pretty sweet because if you really need to deal 3 damage to all creatures, chances are I mean, you might be able to afford. There's a reasonable chance you can afford a land, but at the same time you can choose between killing something and doing a mass removal, which is pretty sweet. Um, yeah, I'm from actual friends. Mm. So this is very powerful. So I would most likely make this a sorcery because instant kill everything is mean. And how is the new spell called with Converge? Um, um, Red Converge. It is called Radiant Flames, and it's 2 in a red, and you can do 1, 2, or 3, which is very sweet. Now, whatever. We might disagree. Somebody might tell me it's 1 red red, or it's even too good. It's probably not too good because you still need to discard the land anyways. So I would do this and then title. I mean, it's obviously like the idea is we setting our own land on fire to we're setting our own land on fire to just deter the enemy or kill the enemy or fight the enemy. So it's got to be some sort of sacrifice your own land. Lord Karl Schmal. I think I'm just gonna say I don't imagine he's a lord. I don't know if I'm doing disrespect here, but I don't know. It sounds better. So yeah, sacrifice the land. If you don't discard, it's bad lightning bolt. If you do, it's pretty fair. Yeah. Um. Yeah, probably. It's just the modular aspect of it that's sweet. The fact that it can deal 3 damage for 3, it is definitely a very bad lightning bolt, but in nowadays, at the very least for limited, it's cool. And the fact that it's a mass removal that can also be a 1 removal, because sometimes you just don't want to kill creatures, right? Maybe you do have creatures. Uh, Storming the Burning Fields. I like it. It gives a little more of the aspect of being aggressive rather than you do it as a sacrifice. So that would not be to be offensive. That would be to be defensive. But actually, maybe the sacrifice is made to be aggressive after all. I don't know. I'm just curious now. I like the name. It's Dragon Force. Cool. I know Dragon Force. I don't really know much of Dragon Force, but cool. I like it. I'm gonna take it if that's okay. Uh, oh, building? No. Is that burning, right? Well, I like it. I think it's fine. Uh, I think it's fine. I mean, we might find a different flavor, but the thing is, um, what I was going for would be something like sacrifice the land or blah blah blah, and no matter what, I think it's gonna sound kind of boring. It's gonna sound like melodramatic and like, oh, we make a sacrifice and whatnot. So I kind of like the doing it on the offensive. I think that's fine. Yeah. I like it. Sweet. So usually I make 2 cards, but today we've made 2 spells, and I kind of want to try my hand as a at a creature, because that's really what I thought at first I would be doing with a Fallow. Um, so for a creature, I also think I'm gonna try and make I keep it into the Naya range, because I do like the idea that we're doing this, that this Fallow is really something human-y. That's something that the people are doing. It's not something the wizards are doing really, like wizards being blue guys. It's not something like the bad guys are doing really, because mostly because I guess I just kind of want the good people, the Bant, well, Bant is blue, but the human main human colors to be doing this. So I would probably try and do a creature that is either green or white. Slight preference for white just because I've made the 2 other colors yet, but green could be fine. So what kind of what kind of creature could we make? I I would try and make a common as well, um, because it's harder, and because it's important to make sure the mechanic is solid so that it can be on common cards. What are you saying? So it would make sense if creature was that the effect would be delayed a turn, creature to weapons then later. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If you want to push, if you want to push the flavor to the max, it would definitely make more sense if it's later. Um, but I think now the metaphor, as we've been making the mechanic, the metaphor uh um is just the sacrifice on the land is discarding the land, and then you get the effect when the card resolves. I don't think we need to make something that lasts later. And also, um, when you try and make effects that happen later, you run into terrible memory issues and tracking issues. You cannot cast a spell and say next turn something is going to happen very easily. It takes a lot of work to make sure people think about it and etc. And they don't have to just remember of like some kind of trigger that happens next turn. Um, Now, I think, I mean, like for example, the thing is, I'm ready to start with a flavor that's, well, maybe not. I was gonna say start with a flavor that's actually fallow. The humans are using the lens to do something, and then move on to, well, this mechanic is really like make a green creature that eats the land and then it's bigger, but it's actually not great. On the flavor, it's really not great. You kind of want fallow to be humans are using the field to do something. What about, what if I make a white creature that is somewhat um, a lord that's kind of going to be exploiting the land a little bit. Um, and in that respect, I could make a white lord that's kind of evil, or if it feels better that my lord is Orzhov white black, that would be fine. Um, so, well, okay. There's only one thing though, is I wanted to make something that was not rare. So I don't want something, if possible, that um, that is too splashy and powerful. I want something that's mostly normal. So let's see. White black is cool. Yeah, yeah. The problem with white black is I'm afraid. Well, I can still make something simple, I guess. Um, so let's see. Do I have? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay. So white, black, or white, I don't know. So one thing I'm thinking is, if I want to make something very simple, it's gonna be a creature that is either it's gonna be a creature that is better if you discard a land. Um, there's two things I'm thinking of. It could be several things. It could be definitely several things. It could be a creature that's better if you discard a land. So it could be a creature that has a plus one counter basically, and maybe when it's got a plus one counter, it's got either Vigilant, First Strike, Lifelink, etc. Or it could be that if you paid the fallow cost, you tap a creature because it's something white does, and um, it could be you gain life. It could be uh, so if you discard a card, you tap a creature, which could be cool because if you make a good creature, and we're making a common still supposedly, so the bonus doesn't have to be huge. It can be a 2/2 for 2. If you discard a land, you tap a creature. It wouldn't be great, but it would still be acceptable. It still wouldn't be great. Then it could be um, gain a whole bunch of life. That way, in the late game, you 2/2 for 2 at least. You discard a land and you get like freaking like 5 life or whatever. Which would be kind of sweet. Um, um, yeah, you know why I like that? Because look at this. If I do, uh, I want something that is, I want something that is possibly powerful, but um, doesn't is not. You don't need to do it, so it's gonna be like on a 2/2 for 2, acceptable. But look, what if I have something like that? So when this guy enters the battlefield, whoops. If it's Fallow, cost was sped. The target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, something like that. Because I don't want to make 3 and 3 because that's freaking Siege Rhino and sounds a little too good. But drain 4 life is a 4 life swing, so seems pretty powerful to me. Honestly, either what I thought at first would be like, hey, it's a 2/2 for 2. You discard a card, you gain 5 life. I kind of like that. There is something, with Fallow that is definitely a problem. Is that it is not a mechanic you're going to be able to use a lot. You're going to be able to use 2, maybe 3 Fallow if the game went very long, at worst. Most normal games, which means it needs to be incidental, and it needs to be that you're not too bummed if you don't do it, because otherwise it's going to be very frustrating. You're going to have like a ton of Fallow cards, and then you're going to have, yeah, it's definitely a late game mechanic. But it's a late game mechanic, yeah, that also means even if it's late game, you're still going to do it 2 or 3 times at the very worst, right? I mean, there could be other cards to fetch your lands from your graveyard, etc., etc. But oh, you know what? Plan for future, pretty sweet. Because if you really want, well, not really. I mean, I was gonna say it's fetch another land for your hand, so you can use the Fallow again. But you could have used this original land that you discarded to it. Anyways, mana sink, sorta. Yeah, it's discarding access lens. Yeah. So yeah, I like something that is simple and that is good added value, but isn't needed if you don't do it. Yeah, Life from the Loam. Yeah, Life from the Loam would be just completely sick in a format like that. So let's make a lord. No, that is not how a lord is written. So yeah, I personally think I was very attracted to the common 2/2/4/2 that gains you 5 life, but we can make an evil lord that drains the opponent. That works quite as well. This is just not good. Oh, it's still my lord. Wow, I was typing it again. Oh yeah, remember that guy. I made a card about that guy. Actually, no, I don't think you can see it. I was gonna say over here. Nah, you don't see it. Lord, Lord, Lord. This one is just a little creepy. It's a little too creepy. I want someone that's just a little less creepy. And why are all the lords so freaking evil? It's just a lord. It's just a lord. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, like draining life is better. And you're right. But depending on what kind of life you gain, it's still fine. It's still fun to do. Um, but you're probably right. I mean, at least this helps you kind of win the game. Um, how about this guy? Same as before, I don't want to spend hours and hours. I would probably be much more picky if I was doing it. This is a little too evil again. And why does he have wings? This one looks a little too nice. This kind of wonder why he's got a girl with him. This one is a nice picture. Often what happens is when I'm looking at pictures, I find other stuff that I want to keep for later. Yeah, this guy is too nice, isn't he? Uh, so this one, for example, I'm gonna keep for later because it's cool. And then this one, oh, too dragon generic actually. Um, I cannot justify this. Is this for? Sometimes also you have to check that it hasn't been made for Magic because I don't like reusing art that is already been printed on cards. Do I like this? It's a little weird, isn't it, that he's got a girl with him. Um, let's keep the art anyway. This is kind of weird. What else do we have? I might move on to something else if it takes me too long now. Nope. Nope. This one's weird. It's weird. Or what do we like? Sovereign. Or hey, this guy is the same guy from before. Cool card, I guess. Keep it. And this is how I found my entire desktop covered by pictures that I have to sort later, but I don't sort it, I just put them in a folder. And then I never go back at it. I could go back to my art folder, I guess, see if I have something. Yeah, there's a couple that have two things, but when it's too much in your face, you're like, who's that? Like you look at this and you're like, why does he have a girl? And those look also a little too cool and noble and you kind of want to know who they are. You kind of want a rare for that. Um, could I see that in a normal? I mean, at the end of the day, I'll be honest, I'm only being picky for myself. But if I publish the card uh, with those two guys, hardly anybody is gonna complain. So okay, so let's just look quickly at what I have in store from my previous art scavengers. See if I have something interesting, and then we can just move on. What's that? Not really. Not really. God, was it all small cards? Give me where full art. I wish there was like some snotty lord that looks like he would exploit its people. That would be sweet. And I don't think I have many of those. I don't remember seeing any of those. Okay. Quickly, let's do. That's one thing that I like about this one picture over here is that he doesn't look snotty or anything, but he looks like he could be tough. He looks like he could be harsh. So that's cool. And screw it. Yeah, let's go for the harsh dude. Yeah, I agree with the comment. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it kind of looks like he would be an actual character. But it's fine. You know what? It's fine. So Ciela and her Lord Protector by Benlo. Let's find this art again. I should have just looked for Benlo, shouldn't I? Benlo. I don't know how to look for people actually that efficiently. Search Benlo. So annoying. Oh, is that him? Are all those pictures from him? Yes. And he's calling himself Ben Lo. Okay. That works. So let's make harsh. Is harsh sovereign something that exists? Also, if I want to put emphasis on him, I could try and crop the picture efficiently, just so that she's like in the corner or something. But anyways, just like that. So that's temporary. Whoops. What kind of sovereign do we have? We have creature sovereigns, imposing sovereign. We have nothing much. And harsh. Deceiver, judgment, justice, mercy, sustenance. Okay, cool, whatever. Our sovereign, it's kind of generic, but mostly works. Human. Do we have something like? I've always been. Oh, I forgot to put Fallow on this. I've always regretted that there isn't something like Lord or Noble. There's none, right? Aristocrat is cleric. Where's my vampire? Sovereign is human. Yeah, this is sad. I mean, I could actually, I could actually, I could just make it my soapbox and say I really wish there was nobles. I guess nobles aren't it's not quite a job. Um, I mean, it's not a job, but there is so many cards that would be so much cooler if they were a noble. This is imposing sovereign, and guess what? It's only a human now because they didn't know what to put on there. Um, uh, where is my aristocrat? The human advisor. Like it's an aristocrat, but it's an advisor now because we don't have any better. Falconwrath aristocrat, it's a vampire and it's nothing else. The other one, the Stormkirk noble, it's just a vampire. So yeah, let that be my soapbox. I really wish there was vampires, nobles. So let's call it a noble. And this was from Ben Lowe. There you go. Um, so yeah, this is for the three designs. We have our how is it again? Plan for future. Oh, I also wish you could sort those by date. Plan for future. Um, Fetch a land for 2 a sorcery. If you discarded a land with Fallow, you can fetch another land and you put it in your hand, so it transforms into a Kodamas Reach if you pay 2 and discard a land. And then we have our Storming the Burning Fields, which is definitely a badass time name. And this is for 3 sorcery, deals 3 damage. If you discard a land, you deal 3 to all creatures. So it kind of transforms into Small Anger of the Gods. And then we have our very recent harsh, what's his name, Sovereign. And this guy is a 2/2 for 2. If you discard a land, it drains for 2. That's a common, so that's okay. Fun, pretty fun. Bauer takes notes, yeah. Oh, you have a land deck, eh? Well, yeah, I hope so. We would need even better follow cards so that he would make to a constructed, I think. But they're definitely kind of fun. And yeah, hopefully we make another couple. It's kind of like landfall in the end. Like with landfall, people are keeping their land to play later, and then boom, put a land so you get landfall. But really, it doesn't matter that you have an extra land because it's late. You're just dropping the land so that you get the landfall. In that case, you would be dropping the land. So you would just discard it and then you have your effect. It would definitely need some support. You would definitely need some maybe fetch more cards that get you fetch lands and put in your hand. Maybe card that recur land, take them from your yard to your hand, which you have to be very careful what kind of card you make that do that because Crucible of Worlds is a thing that is extremely powerful, and there's lots of ways to combo if you get your lands from your graveyard. I do believe, but still, I think we can probably kind of power that mechanic a little bit so that it's not just, hey, you'll use it twice because at the end of the game you won't know what to do with your lands. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I want to keep this. Life from the Life from the Loam is completely broken. I'm gonna keep this episode short because that's only supposed to be my little session for the article making. The article I'll be making tomorrow and push it to bullseye.com. And I'm just gonna put it here because there you go. So tomorrow I'll be publishing this. So yeah, that's for this episode. I'll be posting probably at the very least every week if I can maintain that rhythm, and then whenever time I manage to. Otherwise, thanks so much. Thanks Max Starcraft for helping and following here. It's been kind of fun actually. Um, And yeah, that's about it, I guess. See you next time. Have a great night. Bye bye.